I don't know about you, but who remembers their primary school friends? You might have played soccer or handball with them. You might have just hung out. But one of the best highlights about primary school was getting that primary school birthday party invitation. Now, it was crazy. As soon as you saw someone with a party invitation, you'd be tracking down whoever gave it to them. As soon as you saw them, you'd be running over. You wouldn't make yourself look too obvious, so you might stay far away that you wouldn't look weird, but you were trying to do everything that you could to get your invitation that you knew that you would be getting. You know, nothing would ruin your friendship with that person. That is nothing except not getting that invitation. This feeling was the worst, not getting that party invitation. But I don't know what was worse, not getting the invitation or the reaction from not getting one. I know for me at least, sometimes I'd blow up. I'd say things like, fine, you're not going to my birthday party then. See how you like it. Or if it was really extreme and I was having an argument with someone, it might have been, fine, our friendship is over. And it would get that ridiculous, it would get that heated. But what I think I was really frustrated about wasn't the fact that I wasn't invited to a birthday party, but it was that I didn't make the cut. That feeling of not being good enough to be invited to a birthday party. Now, this is the same with sport, teams or events. Sometimes we don't make the cut, and this is the worst feeling. But what does the Bible say about this? Now, it says that the Pharisees called Jesus a friend of sinners. And they would use this term to pick on him, to make him feel like he wasn't anything special. But Jesus embraced this phrase, because that's why he came. He came to be the friend of sinners. And the Jews didn't understand this. They would say, why are you hanging out with these scum, these people that are so beneath you, beneath us? And they couldn't get their head around it. But what Jesus does is he built relationships with people, and he would eat with them. He would spend time with them. But yeah, no, these people, surely they wouldn't make the cut with Jesus. But Jesus, what he does is he embraces them, he accepts them. How often do we, though, act like the Pharisees and we cut off people when we don't think they're good enough? What Jesus does is he becomes our friend, not just because we've earned it or because we haven't, but he becomes our friend because he wants to be. He wants that genuine relationship with us. He wants that personal relationship with you. Now, God sent Jesus into the world not to condemn it, but to have that genuine relationship with you. One that is patient, one is kind, one that is all about you. Now, Jesus made himself nothing by taking on the very nature of a servant. He gave up himself. He gave everything for us. This was seen through his life, through his death, through his resurrection. The King of Glory came down from the highest place that we could ever imagine and came down to us just so that we could have a relationship with him. Only Jesus could ever show this kind of selfless love, this love with no agenda, a love that was pure. We don't deserve his friendship, forgiveness or attention, but Jesus lived, died and rose for you. He shared the message of life, of a radical and pure relationship with him. Now, he had every opportunity to turn away, particularly when we put him there on the cross, when we rejected him and thought that Jesus didn't make the cut in our lives. But the thing is, Jesus comes to us. He meets us where we are. He meets us wherever we are, whatever we've done, to have that genuine relationship with us. Can I tell you, Jesus put you first. You were created for a relationship with him. This isn't a guilt trip. This is a beautiful promise. A promise that whoever or wherever you are, Jesus will always fight for you and always love you. Fight for that relationship with you. He will never stop loving you. He wants you to know him. He wants to love you, and he wants you to be loved by him. Unfortunately, we can live and think as the Pharisees do, and think that we need to reach a certain point to earn acceptance or make the cut. Or we can measure love by what we can get back in return. But not Jesus. He never thought it was a waste of time spending time with us, even though we could have potentially rejected him, or we do reject him. His message of grace and an indescribable pursuit of a relationship with you is all that he's about. He wants a friendship with you. He wants to have a radical friendship with you. One that will never leave you the same again. Whatever you've heard, whatever you've done, whether you've turned your back on God, whether you're figuring out who God is, or you're someone that's been a Christian and called yourself a believer for 50 plus years, Jesus is always craving a deeper relationship with you. My question though for you is, who is Jesus to you? Jesus will never give up on us. He will never stop loving us. He is the friend of sinners, of you and of me. And when we accept his friendship, his love and his grace, he becomes friends with us for eternity.